Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Fitz and Chip podcast.
I'm Fitz.
And I'm Chip. And it has been a while since we've been in these chairs recording a podcast. So we apologize.
End of the year, things went a little, holidays.
Yeah, it just got hectic. And new year, same us, though. Just new and improved.
Yeah. Besides the audio version, some of you may be watching us now.
Which is, hey, cheers to you. This is our first attempt recording video today, and just gonna see how it goes.
Yeah, because we're old, and we didn't think about it at the time that maybe we should do video besides just audio. Sorry, there are people that don't ever listen to actual podcasts and just watch stuff on YouTube.
Right.
So if you're finding us on YouTube, there's a bunch of old episodes I will be uploading at my earliest convenience. You can go back and listen to them that way too.
Yeah. Those will just obviously they won't be real video. We'll just throw up some pictures and stuff like that, and put up the old ones to listen to or watch on YouTube as well.
There may just be pictures of the cats.
They'll be sprinkled in at the very least.
Podcast Cat is apparently shy today. She doesn't want to be on video, even though she's such a camera hug.
Yeah, we have a handful of assets we've taken at the park, so we can throw up some images and stuff, but also podcast cats.
Yeah.
So yeah, we hope that the holidays were great to all of you. We hope that the new year is going well. It's pretty early in the new year for us, but we figured, hey, new year, new us. Let's throw up a video and let's get back to it.
So a while ago, and by a while ago I mean like September. We had done what some might consider the best Magic Kingdom day ever.
Some might consider it that way.
I would certainly consider it one of the best Magic Kingdom days I've ever had.
There's probably a couple things that we didn't quite check off that a lot of people would have done on their perfect day. But there's only so much you can fit in a day.
Well, also, we didn't get to do Jungle Cruise purely because it was closed.
It was closed.
Not because we didn't want to, because that 100% would have been on the list.
We did get our Jungle Cruise fixed the best we could. We'll talk about that a little later. We had a great day. I mean, do you remember, did we go?
Oh, I have the timeline.
Right. Fitz kept meticulous notes of how that day went, like ride for ride as we attacked the park. It was such a fun day. It was us, my wife, and a good friend of ours, friend of the show. We got to have him on some point. He's got some great Disney knowledge.
He's
We'd
great.
love to have him on.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we figured we'd just kind of jump in and kind of catch up quickly and then jump into this Magic Kingdom day that we had.
Which was a lot of firsts.
It was a Sunday.
Yeah. Which actually was,
because we have a running joke.
It kind of just worked that way, but our perfect Sunday
was
a Magic Kingdom day.
Hot Fuzz reference, but we always joke about my perfect Sunday, and we always talk about being at Magic Kingdom, and we had it. We had our perfect Sunday.
It's just the way it fell on the trip for us.
So how do we start things? What do we do?
We took an Uber to Ticket and Transportation.
Yeah, we were staying at Universal property.
Yes. And then we decided to take the boat across, which is something I had never done. So, like, typically I am a person who stays on Disney property, so I just will either take... I've only ever taken a bus, let's be real. No, actually, I took the monorail last time with the girls because we got breakfast at Ohana beforehand. But I have done both ways of, like, bus or monorail. Never done the boat because we don't stay off property, so we don't have to go take transportation.
See, I always stay off property from Disney, so I'm being attacked by a podcast cat, so just bear with us.
Yeah, now she decides she wants to be part of it.
She wants to be on camera.
She wasn't camera ready.
So she got her face on. We're good. I stay off property almost always when I go to Disney. Soon to change. But I always go from the Ticket and Transportation Center. So I love taking the ferry boat. That is my preferred method to get from Ticket and Transportation to the park. I don't recall if we were on the General Joe Potter or the Admiral Joe Fowler. Those are the names.
I didn't know there were different names, so I didn't think to record that part.
So those two gentlemen, I don't know my Disney history super well, so I apologize to all the diehards. But those two gentlemen had a large part in the actual construction of building Walt Disney World.
Oh, okay.
And they named the ferry boats after them. So
See, Potter just makes me think of MASH.
sure, sure. Especially because it's a military rank attached
Yeah.
to the boat. Those gentlemen were servicemen and did serve, and then they worked with Walt after. Yeah, just a fun little fact. But we took one of those two ferries. I know we haven't even gotten to the park yet, and maybe it's a little silly to some people. But what was your experience with the ferry?
I really liked it. It was a great way to start the day, and just coming over the water and seeing the castle and everything in the distance.
I'm with you. There's something
There's-
about it
there's-
I love.
Well, same thing with the monorail. Just coming up to seeing that castle and Main Street view is amazing. It's utterly amazing. This is Disney Imagineering at its finest, where the how perfect.
Cat is slipping off my lap. I'm sorry.
It's fine.
Sorry.
Nominate.
Oh, she's okay. Oh, it was just very funny. She was slipping, hanging on for dear life. Yeah, it's nothing's an accident in Walt Disney World, right?
No,
So your
especially
sight
back then.
your sight lines and everything are intentional. As much as I love seeing the castle, one of my favorite bits is you can see Space Mountain so clear. And there's something about the side of Space Mountain that is almost equal to the castle for me. When I see the Space Mountain, it is just, I love it. And you get that great view coming in.
I don't mean this in a negative way. It's like a B tier icon of the park.
Yeah,
Because the castle is the icon. But
Right.
there's a few other ones that are just.
Yeah, you see Space Mountain,
Yeah.
I mean, you're looking at it because you can see Space Mountain from most of your great views of the castle that are outside the park, like at the Polynesian and the resorts that are near. You can see Space Mountain from all of them.
Well, it's ironic too because Space Mountain was the first ride we did when we got to Magic Kingdom.
Was it? See, it's been since September, so I don't recall everything. So, but Fitz has the timeline. So,
Yeah, I was very.
okay.
I tried to keep good notes of that day, knowing podcasting at some point about.
So we just
we
about
arrived,
rope
we arrived
drop,
on 8:30,
right? 8:30.
and
Okay.
then got in.
They already let
security,
us
all that
in.
Stuff.
Yeah, they already letting us in because park actually opened at 9, right?
Yes.
Yeah, but they open it a little early sometimes. 8:30 we were walking right in. So perfect timing there.
Yeah, we walked in, went over. It was a 10-minute wait for Space Mountain, and worth it all day.
Oh, another thing we're going to talk about, and this plays into it. We did have,
Oh yes, that is right. We did.
what's it called now? The artist formerly known as Genie Plus.
Lightning Lane Express, whatever they're calling, not the crazy paid one,
I've-
just the regular like $20 a day.
I
fee.
feel like such an amateur not even knowing what it's called, but Disney has made it a little
I think
confusing
it's
to
Lightning
keep.
Lane now.
I think it's just Lightning Lane.
Yeah.
The one you pay for to pick your Lightning Lane return times. We all had that because we
Yeah,
wanted to make this
And
day
we
work
wanted
really well.
we checked off a bunch of boxes with it, and wanted to see how the ride went for the day,
Right.
which was great too because it also gave us ride photos of that day.
Yeah, which is just. We'll give our thoughts on that a little later, I think.
Yeah.
But yeah, we'll talk about it a little later. The experience of that. Okay, so Space Mountain. So first off, we arrive, we take our walk down Main Street. We're all nostalgic, right? We're all just, glassy-eyed for Main Street. Just like, it's just amazing that we're
It makes
there.
you feel like a kid again. At every time you walk down Main Street, you feel like a kid.
Ugh.
Even if you never got to experience it as a kid, you just that sense of childlike wonder.
There's something about Main Street USA that I just can't. It's you can't quantify it. There's that Disney magic is alive on Main Street USA for me. So every time I walk in the park, I'm like instantly emotional. I'm just like, here we are. We're on Main Street. I love it. And then I love going to Tomorrowland first. That is the thing I love to do. So this day was just going perfect for me.
I'm a toss up because we'll do that or we'll run to Big Fun to Haunted Mansion combo.
Sure,
first.
that's a nice combo. Yeah.
But the problem with that is they usually don't open that park until 9, so you usually
Right.
end up waiting.
Space Mountain first thing in the day is a I wouldn't say it's common, but it's definitely a strategy I have used before. So this was the way I like to do things.
Also, just love Space Mountain.
Love Space
It's good
Mountain.
quotes. It's beats you up a little bit. We're older, and it's
It
an
does-
older ride.
It does beat you up a little bit, but not in a way that there are certain rides that beat you up. We'll say that I think about maybe not going on because of that. Space Mountain is not one of those rides.
No, I'll go on Space Mountain every
It does
time.
not.
There's-
It does
there's
not
not a time I
deter
won't
me
go on
from
Space Mountain.
riding it whatsoever. And just there's something about the sound design. We could wax poetic about so many things, so we'll be here all day. But the sound design inside Space Mountain from this beginning to end, I just love. I love the audio of that ride. Like hearing all the stuff, and I love it. It's so nostalgic to me. So that's a pretty good start to a morning.
It was a pretty good start to the morning. At some point, we got Joffrey's too. I did not write when we did that, but I 100% we got.
Was it that Joffrey's?
So is that Joffrey's?
Well, that's
Yeah, that is
so
the Joffrey's to get.
this is again, this is for no particular reason other than we're creatures of habit. Apart from each other, we just both have decided that the Joffrey's in Tomorrowland is our favorite Joffrey's to
Yeah.
go to. I don't know why.
Hands down.
It's just one of those things. So I think you got Joffrey's. I don't think I did.
I 100% did.
Yeah, I know
There's
you
no
did.
Time I don't.
Oh no, you got it at the Ticket and Transportation Center.
Oh, that's right. I did.
So
you were
you
correct.
rode your ferry
Because I was
boat with
like,
your
oh, that's
Joffrey's.
right. This is the greatest thing in the world. There's a Joffrey's before a boat.
Yep. So we always sit on the top deck. Also, that's another thing. If you're gonna ride the ferry boat in, sit on the top deck, get your great views, and you sat there with your Joffrey's coffee. You must have been so happy with that experience.
I was very happy.
Ugh.
I might have took videos and pictures of that. I'll have to look.
Yeah, we got some pictures. We'll have to. We always say we'll post them. We really will this time.
Yeah. We're trying to get better about being a lot of things.
New year, new us. Fitz and Chip taking over 2025. You heard it here first.
After that, you had your first, where you did Carousel of Progress.
I did. This is my first experience on Carousel of Progress.
And we were lucky enough to get one of the refurbished theaters, so we got the new comfy seats. Not that the old ones weren't comfy; they're just very beaten up, so they put new ones in.
Oh, see, this is. I didn't even know that they had a mixed bag in there.
They've been working through each
didn't
theater,
know.
slowly putting new seats in.
So you can see and you probably hear my just smile. I don't know how I don't know how I'd never done this before. This is the kind of thing that This is the kind of thing I love about Walt Disney World. Carousel
It
of
is
Progress.
the old school Disney magic, and again, something that Walt had a hand on because Carousel of Progress was in the World's Fair
It's in
back
the
in
world.
the day.
Yep. And I had never done it, and
We walked by it 1,000 times.
as a kid I didn't even know about it, and then as an adult I realized from watching videos and stuff, but I just never got around to doing it. So we did it, and I absolutely loved it.
So now my question will be a must do when you hit the park.
So that was the next thing I was gonna say. I'm gonna say no. And that's not a knock on it. It's just certain things I don't need to experience every single time, because although it made me feel things and I loved it, it doesn't. A lot of show type attractions don't make you feel, like if you go on a ride, you're gonna get an adrenaline rush.
Yeah.
You're gonna get a feel. Not every show type attraction is gonna do that every time. So things like this, as much as I love, I would say this is an every other. You know what I mean? I think I'll need a
Well, yeah,
refresh
especially
every
considering
other
how
visit.
infrequent Magic Kingdom is the park you go to out of
Right.
them all. Like, it might be a couple of years, but you'll do it again.
Absolutely, I will do this again, hands down, and a few times for sure. It's just, do I have to run to it next time I go? Probably not.
To be fair, you never have to run to it because the wait never is long.
That is that is true.
But mostly because
Um,
it's 4 or 5 rotating theaters, so it holds a ton of people. It's just
It's a really cool system, and it's so old. It's so innovative for how old it is.
Yeah.
It really is. It's Carousel of Progress, and I already knew the song because everybody knows the song. But man, I loved hearing the song in there. I loved it. It was a great, big, beautiful tomorrow.
it's so good. I'm
It's
so
so
glad
good.
years ago someone introduced me to that, and then it's been a staple of my Magic Kingdom going experience.
It's cool because I already loved Tomorrowland. It's one of my favorite parts of
It
the
just
park.
adds, it's like sprinkles on a good
It just
cupcake.
made it made it even better, which is cool because they didn't even add anything. It's like something I added just for me. And it's great. I love it.
After that, we did everyone's favorite attraction, the People Mover. We walked right on that because it's the People Mover.
It is. It is. Why is it so good? Why is the People Mover so good?
It makes me upset that they still haven't put something in Stitch because there should be more talking about like what's going on in the park, and that's just a blind spot of emptiness that they still haven't done anything with.
Yeah.
But everything else, it's still great. Adding the stuff of Tron and Buzz Lightyear, and
I wonder what they could put there. I really do. I mean,
the problem is it's such a tiny space.
it's a very limited theater space.
You would have to, if you really wanted to put something there with more space, gut the gift shops and stuff behind it and take over that entire building. But Might not be worth it. Like,
Yeah, I just don't know. It doesn't need it.
no.
It would just be nice. It'd be nice if there was another attraction in Tomorrowland. Um, it's been a long time since. I mean, Stitch's Great Escape closed what 3 years ago, 2 and change. Like it's been a little while.
I think it's longer than that.
It might be. It's
Time is a weird suit.
especially with Disney and theme parks. It's so hard
Yeah.
for me to like gauge how long things have been. Like, yeah,
People Mover is so, like, you can't. My one complaint about the People Mover is I can't bring an open beverage on it.
yeah.
Not that I want like to go crazy, but that ride would just be
Joffrey's-
so much better sitting there for Joffrey's.
I agree. And I understand why, because
Yeah.
some people are going to spill it, and if one person spills it, that's enough to be like,
Yeah.
it's not worth it. So I get it.
Because then you're cleaning those ride vehicles all day long for people spilling stuff.
But I would love to sit there with a coffee and just relax. Oh, it'd be great. That should be like an after hours thing. During the after hours, they
Yeah.
should have like a little kiosk you can buy a snack, like a one-handed snack and a coffee or whatever, a drink, and just go on that ride.
Even better if they hand it out to you on the ride.
Oh, that would be amazing. We love the People Mover.
We are People Mover stands, and I have no qualm saying that.
Nope.
And then we hit a first for me.
Uh-huh.
I had my first ever spring rolls.
Oh, the cheeseburger spring rolls,
Yeah.
right?
We got one of each.
At Adventureland.
Yes.
Yeah.
Cheeseburger and the pizza one.
These are like these are still a little bit of like a, I want to say hidden gem, but they're like a little bit of a cult following item. I've only had them one other time before, I think, maybe twice. So they're still kind of a newer thing for me. But they are a snack I try and hit every time I go now. What do you think?
I like the pizza one better than the cheeseburger one. They're both fine, but
Yep.
definitely more of a pizza spring roll person than a
Sure.
cheeseburger spring roll.
The
But I
cheese-
checked it off the list.
Yeah, the cheeseburger one really, I'm glad you got one of each. That's the way to go. They've had different ones. And I always get the cheeseburger and whatever like another one.
Yeah.
That's like my standard. I think I got a Reuben one time. It was fantastic.
Well, the plus side of this trip we went with was the four of us is we did a lot of family style sharing on this.
We
Magic
did.
Kingdom Day.
It was
It worked
nice
out well.
having a group like that. We could
So
share
me
a
and
lot
Chris-
of stuff.
Staldy split each took half of a roll.
Yeah, my wife and I did the same.
Yeah.
Like, we got our own order and we split and it was perfect. I really it's just a little cart in Adventureland, but it's kind of become a thing. The cheeseburger spring roll, if you've never had it, you can't tell me that they're not really trying to emulate a McDonald's cheeseburger and a spring roll.
Well, there was a time when Magic Kingdom sold McDonald's fries, so
This
it
is
doesn't
correct.
surprise me.
Right.
That
It just
would be
has
tried-
that same flavor profile, right? It's got the same toppings essentially. You know, you ketchup, mustard flavor. The pickle is present. It's like a McDonald's cheeseburger. I'd prefer it in a spring roll form than a McDonald's cheeseburger. I'd rather have that personally, but it's good. Did we hit another first for you right after that?
No, that was later on.
Okay, we'll talk about that later.
Then we hit our first lightning lane of the day. Pirates of the Caribbean.
You say Caribbean or Caribbean?
I say Pirates of the
I
Caribbean.
think I go back and forth. I
Yeah.
don't think I have a stance on it. But I do have a stance on how much I love that attraction.
Oh my god, it's so good.
It's very high. It's up there.
Dun, 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 dun,
Oh, it's so good.
dun, dun.
It's akin to, it's old fashioned, and
Yeah.
and you probably anyone who listens to this has heard us talk about Magic Kingdom attractions ad nauseum. So we'll try not to retread old water too much. But I love I love Pirates of the Caribbean. I guess I say Caribbean. Yeah.
It's it's one of those rides, even with the few additions and redos they've done in it. It's still,
Yeah.
nothing changes. It's still
No,
great.
it didn't hurt anything.
No, like I know some people are like, Jack Sparrow and Barbossa are in it. I was like, it just keeps it enough relevant, so there's a franchise attached to it, but also
Right.
it's classic.
Changes like that are interesting to me when people complain because that Jack Sparrow and Captain Barbossa weren't there when I was a kid, but the fact that they're there doesn't take anything away from me, and it gives something exciting to the younger generation going. So what's the harm?
Yeah.
I still get my nostalgia. They get to see a character that they grew up with. Everybody wins when you do
And a
a
good
changeover
portion of that
like
ride,
that.
it still has nothing to do with them. They're
Right.
just really in the beginning and the end of it, and then like some
Right.
people randomly being like, "Hey, tell us what Jack Sparrow is."
Yeah. I still think that attraction is great the way it is.
S tier attraction.
Yep, I agree. S tier, because we like old timey Imagineering, and that's the epitome of it. It's great. So this was a great day so far.
It was a great day so far. And then we did. I know this was the first for me. I think it was the first for you too. I think it was everybody but Cristaldi. We did Tiki Room,
We finally did the Tiki Room.
which months later I still randomly be like in the Tiki.
Me too.
Tiki.
Me too.
Room."
My wife wants to punch my teeth out of my head because sometimes I'll just start doing the Tiki Room song for no reason whatsoever. I do love Polynesian and Tiki culture. I always thought it was so cool. So this attraction was just like, all right, this is great. This is one of those two though. I will probably do this less than Carousel of Progress.
I will probably do it with the girls next time so they
Sure.
experience it.
Yep.
But then I think it's a once in a while thing.
Yeah.
It's not. I'm not writing it off, but it is definitely like, wow, this was a little longer than I expected it to be.
Yeah.
And then it just kept going.
Yeah. And I don't mind stuff like this too much. I kind of like this kind of. My wife does not care for attractions like this, so I know that she will not be trying to go to the
To be on the next Fitz and Chip Magic Kingdom
room
Day.
anytime soon. But this is neither here nor there. But just a fun fact: the next time her and I will be going to Magic Kingdom will be to celebrate my 40th birthday. So she's gonna do whatever I want to do that day. So
Yeah.
if I want to go in see the Tiki Room,
Well,
she's
also,
gonna
with where
come
you're
too.
staying, I feel like you should do the Tiki Room.
Yeah, we'll have to. Oh, that's the thing, right? We'll have to talk about that another time. Yeah. So crossed another. Yeah, we crossed another. Part of this day for us was let's do things we've never done. We kind of wanted to cross some stuff off. So
Yeah,
as you can
there was
see,
an
we made some
interesting
progress.
bucket list between you and I of Magic Kingdom stuff we both never done.
Yeah.
So we tried to knock out a bunch of stuff that we've talked about for a hot minute about missing at Magic Kingdom.
Yeah. And the Tiki Room, you have to remember like how old this technology is. It's very impressive.
Yeah.
It really is. The Tiki Room is really, really cool. I did enjoy it very much because I like that old timey Imagineering. So, yeah, if you have never done the Tiki Room, absolutely,
Do the Tiki
you
Room.
have to do the Tiki Room.
After that, we hit our virtual queue for the day of Tiana's Bayou.
Yep. What's the actual? Is it Tiana's Bayou Adventure?
Yes.
The actual full name of this attraction now? Okay. So, it was our first time riding it. I am a Splash Mountain guy. Loved Splash Mountain. I was sad to see it go. I'll just lead with that. How did you feel about Tiana's Bayou Adventure?
It's Splash Mountain not being Splash Mountain. The ride's the same, so it's fine. Like, I'm more curious as someone who has, like, you've never seen Princess and the Frog, so you had
That's
no
true.
history to
I've
any
actually,
of this.
I know, there's a few Disney movies, there's a few gaps in my Disney movie knowledge, and Princess and the Frog is one of them, and I don't know why I didn't rectify that before this trip, knowing I was going on it. I really should have, because I think I would really like it. Especially, I just from being in the zeitgeist of the Disney bubble in universe, I know about the villain, I know about Dr. Facilier, and I know I would like this character very much. So
This ride does take place after that movie. So.
right, you're right.
But
I
that's how you get introduced to most of the characters you'll see in it.
So the way I describe this to people who love Splash Mountain, from my perspective as someone who loved Splash Mountain, is every time I went to the park, I had to ride Splash Mountain. Like, had to. The way I feel currently, every time I go to the park, I have to ride Tiana's Bayou Adventure.
It was great. I liked it.
And I mean that in a good way.
Animatronics were great. I do see some of the criticism, especially now that California opened, where they designed this more for California because it's a smaller attraction, actually. So there's less gaps of time and of blank space.
Yeah, I don't think it's perfect, but I think that I wouldn't have said that Splash Mountain was perfect.
Yeah.
Like I said, I will ride it every time I go to Magic Kingdom. It's no question I'm going to ride this ride every time.
We also felt like, for anyone who's ever been to Splash Mountain before, I feel like there's more water in this ride than there was in Splash Mountain.
We good?
There were times that we got soaked in places. I don't ever remember getting wet in Splash Mountain.
I wonder. I felt the same way. Like, oh, I got a little more wet this time.
Yeah. Like some of the earlier drops in
I
that
don't know.
ride soaked us more than the final drop.
Yeah, we made out pretty good on that last one. So the thing about this ride and the thing about Splash Mountain is that rides are all built differently. They've got their different inertia and chemistry, what makes the ride special. Splash Mountain's really about the party trick, right? It's really about the one party trick. It's a great attraction the whole way through. It was a great attraction the whole way through, but there's the one party trick, and it's the drop. Tiana's has the drop,
Yeah.
and it's just as good.
Yeah.
So the party trick is the same, and I don't know. I still think it's a great attraction. I do. I really do.
I would like before your March trip, you watch Princess and the Frog. So when you go on this again, you have a little more sense of what the story and stuff is.
I won't be going until June, so I got plenty of time.
Oh,
I have a lot of trips
I'm the
planned.
one potentially going in March.
Yeah.
Yeah, you have so many. I'm sorry, I missed one of the 5 months. you're not going
This
to
is kind of the year of too many trips
Yeah.
for me. I say too many, never enough.
No.
There's quite a few trips booked for me this year. You got a couple already, and
Potentially,
maybe
yeah.
a third in the works. So yeah, we get down there a little bit. But before June, which is the next time I will go to Magic Kingdom, I will watch Princess and the Frog. No question.
So after our Tiana's, we had to head to Peter Pan Lightning Lane, but this is one of the I'm going to be sad about the river going because I like taking the wooden walkway path down by the water anytime I'm walking through Frontierland. That is my preferred method of travel.
Mine too. Mine too. I love being on that path.
And in the adding to our perfect Sunday, potentially one of the best Magic Kingdom days we'll ever have, we hit old school Disney magic, where as we were walking by, we saw two characters getting ready for a meet and greet.
They were just starting it. They were just getting set up to start their meet and greet.
Those two characters would be go by the name of Chip and Dale.
Okay. So I am not a character meet and greet guy. Just generally not a thing I care about. Everyone knows, everyone who watches this knows it's my last name is Chippendale. And so Chip and Dale are two characters that are kind of like, I kind of have to meet. I kind of have to meet Chip and Dale. They basically, by pure coincidence, sprung a meet and greet up 10 feet in front of us.
And we were like the
And like, hey, the line starts.
And do it.
The line starts right here if you want to do it. And I was like, we walked into it. We stumbled into them. So we did it. We met Chip and Dale, and we explained to them that we are brethren and about our last name, and they were amazing.
I wish we should have remembered their name and gave them a Disney compliment because they were amazing.
They were.
Chip and Dale were amazing. The attendants were amazing. Like, everyone was like, "Are you kidding me? Your last name is actually Chip and Dale."
We got great pictures. My wife and I actually had the Chip and Dale shoulder pads on. So it was even like it was so good.
That is the old school Disney magic that you just don't plan and things happen, and it worked out perfectly.
It restored a lot of that Disney magic faith that some people say kind of dwindles and isn't quite there anymore. I felt it this day all day, and this was a huge part of it.
The characters were 100% into it. It was awesome. They were so excited.
Oh, they were great. They were great. And again, I'm not really a meet and greet guy, but. They really made me rethink that policy. Like, these characters are pretty cool to me. So yeah, Chip and Dale just came through and made our day even better. It was awesome.
And then we went on Peter Pan, which was the first time for me.
What did you think, Fitz?
I am a notorious. I don't like the movie Peter Pan, so the ride was fine. It's old school, and I like that, but I guess I'm more used to like Little Mermaid, where it actually tells the story and there's a narration of what's going on.
Well, she was there. Ariel is in the ride,
but like there's no narration. It's all visual ride, not audio ride.
Correct.
Yeah,
correct.
But it was very beautiful. Like,
it is. It's cool. The ride system is kind of neat. It's just kind of like a dark ride, but you're suspended. You know what I mean?
All the black light painting everywhere. It looks really nice.
I'm surprised that you don't really like Peter Pan because it is one of my was one of my staples as a kid. So I'm surprised that it's not a movie.
It just never hit with me.
I love it. I do love it. I love Peter Pan. I love Nana specifically.
And then we did Skipper Canteen, which was another first for me. Never eaten a Skipper Canteen.
Okay.
And this was a place that we got into it with food and drinks. We all
We-
ordered different food.
Yep.
There was people sharing food,
Yeah.
appetizers, desserts, entrees. It was a good time.
It was. With especially with the Jungle Cruise being closed, we had to do Skipper Canteen. It's a place I've eaten before, and my wife and I fell in love with it immediately. It's a great meal at Magic Kingdom, which I love Magic Kingdom, but it can be hard to find a really good meal at Magic Kingdom. And they also serve alcohol there for the adult, for the big Disney kids at heart.
Which one thing I do like is that Magic Kingdom still tries to keep that mostly family-friendly atmosphere. So the only place to get alcohol is sit-down restaurants like this.
I'm a person who likes to have an alcoholic beverage in a theme park. I'm completely okay with Magic Kingdom not serving alcohol that you can take with you and walk around the park.
Yeah.
I don't want that to be a thing in Magic Kingdom, and I
'Cause
love having.
we love Epcot, but we have all seen those people who are way too intoxicated
Yep.
in a theme park, and
Yeah,
I don't want someone like that disturbing everyone else's vacation at a Magic
I agree 100%. I'm really glad that on the policy at Magic Kingdom, it could change with the new tavern coming, but I don't think it will. I really
I
don't.
don't.
I really don't. Or some kind of really
I
strict
feel like
enforcement policy. Like,
well, I
yeah, you
think
can
it's
get
gonna
one
be-
here, but
I think if anything, it's going to be
you
like,
cannot cross outside the building.
like
with it.
Oga's Cantina, where you're going to need a reservation or something to go into it.
Sure, but Oga's will give you a drink to go.
Yeah.
This place, obviously should not do that.
Yeah.
But I think it might be like that too, which is kind of cool. I
Yeah.
want if they're gonna, we're kind of getting away from the episode. If they're gonna really theme a Pirates of the Caribbean style bar, and they're gonna add the theming to the next level, then make it more of an
Yeah.
experience like an Oga's. Don't just make it just a
Just
walk-in
make it so we
place.
can sit down now. Please, for the love of everything.
We'll talk about that another time. Yeah, I don't love how they do Oga's anymore. But anyway, so
Skipper Cantina was really good. Like,
Yeah,
that
w-
is a place I want to go and eat again.
yeah, we all got actually you and I got the same dish.
We did, but then the other two people in our group
Yeah.
did not, and then everyone ordered different dessert. That's like the most baller thing I think, and it wasn't even that baller.
It just felt like,
Like,
it,
and they're like, "Well, what was it like for dessert?" And we were like, "We'll have one of everything."
bring one of everything.
and then we'll all sample and try.
It was great. It was so fun. Like, the atmosphere in that place was great. The food was great. Drinks were good. Dessert was great. It was just a great experience. It really, really elevated our Magic Kingdom day. It really did. If you've ever been to Skipper Canteen, I cannot recommend it enough. It's a little more adventurous, but you and I both got a non-adventurous dish because I heard it was so good, so I wanted to try it. It was called Taste Like Chicken Because It Is, and it's a chicken dish. So there's something there for everyone.
But
for
even
sure.
that, like, I tried. I think Cristaldi's pork was really good.
Yep.
There was nothing on that menu I was like, don't want to try it.
I believe my wife got the steak. That's her
Yeah.
normal, and she'd gotten that before. It's excellent.
Yeah, everything looked really good. I was like, there was something on this menu
Yeah.
for anybody.
We all tried everybody, so it was so fun. It was like family style. It was nice
Yeah.
being there with you guys, having that meal
And
there.
sometimes, like, I think people just try to hit so much stuff. Like, don't be wrong, I've mentioned a lot of stuff already, but we did not run around this park. Like, we
No, this
took our
felt like
time.
a pretty
It was a
casual
nice
day.
and sometimes people don't do that sit down, relax moment at parks. I get it. We don't get to Magic Kingdom often, so I would spend all day running around this park if I need to.
Right. Yeah, I'm with you.
But also, we were on it. I forgot to mention this earlier. We were on a day that the park closed at 6 because there was a Mickey's Not So Scary that night too. So we did not even have the ability to pull an all day.
Right. We had to leave by 6, and I think we kind of planned for that strategically because I had heard that sometimes the park is slower during the day when there's a party because guests see the park closer at 6 and they might feel like they're getting gypped a little bit. They don't want to spend
Yeah,
the money to
unless
go.
you're doing a Mickey's Not So Scary at night too, and then you're like,
Right.
well, we get some time in for other stuff.
Right. So we'd heard it could be a little slower, and I think the crowd was very manageable that day.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yep. This was in September, a day in September when there was a Mickey's Not So Scary.
Even like, we probably could have got away not doing the lightning lane, but we wanted to make sure we hit everything we wanted to hit on the list.
What was it,
And-
like the 15th of September or something like that?
Yeah.
Like pretty early into the
Yeah,
Mickey's Not
'cause
So
we went
Scary
on Friday
season.
the 13th for the thing, and that was Friday. So yeah,
Oh
15th.
wow,
You
nailed it.
nailed that.
It was just a guess by the day we landed. Yeah, so had a great meal, refueled, got some AC, walked around a little bit in the because the theming is so good in Skipper Canteen, so we kind of looked at some of that, and then we headed out. What do we do next?
We had a Haunted Mansion lightning lane that we hit.
This day keeps getting better. I lived it, and this day just keeps getting better and better just listening to it. Haunted Mansion next.
Was that your first time seeing Hatbox Ghost?
No,
Okay.
was not.
It definitely was Cristaldi's. 'Cause I think he hadn't been down since it. But
Yeah, I have my gripes with it, and it's so snobby, and the same
is it
gripe
just
that
the
you've heard.
placement?
Yeah,
Yeah.
the placement. And it's so silly.
Because it's there before the ghost technically materialized.
It's just breaking
Happy haunts
immersion.
materialize.
Okay, it's in the song. It's not hard. Just listen to the song, Disney. You wrote it, but really, it's cool. I'm being funny. I'm trying to be. I love
It's a great addition.
Haunted Mansion, and I think the Hatbox Ghost it's cool to see him because if you know the history of it, I was supposed to be there.
Yeah.
It's cool. But that attraction is just 10 out of 10. It might be the best attraction in Walt Disney World.
It might be.
According to
Maybe
some.
listen to a previous podcast and fact checked us on that.
Find out for yourself. I don't know. It's Haunted Mansion is very special, and it was perfect. Right after our meal, it was a nice little continue our relaxation into Haunted Mansion.
I believe at this point, I don't have the notes, but at some point we had a Big Thunder Mountain that had a problem, so we played around with other stuff. It gave us a free one. So at this point, we hit Tiana's again because we got it popped in the lightning lane.
Right, we got a second ride on Tiana's.
Yes.
And that just speaks to, I said, like, I always have to ride Splash Mountain. We rode Tiana's, and I felt, if I can ride that again today, I will. So that's how good of an attraction it is. I want to ride it. We all did. We wanted to ride it again. So we did.
And then right after Tiana's, we hopped on a little boat and went over to Tom Sawyer's Island because we wanted to make sure we visited it one last time before it goes to the great amusement park rides in the sky.
Yeah.
Even though it's not really a ride, it's more of an experience.
I was pretty nostalgic walking through. I
I have a
was
video of the entire thing. I'm going to. I don't know if I'm going to edit it or just scrub through it, make sure nothing
sure.
is on there that shouldn't be, and toss that up.
I loved it. I was impressed by it.
No memories of this.
I have fuzzy memories from when I was 7 years old. This is the last time I went on Tom Sawyer's Island, and they all came rushing back to me when I was there.
You were more of a guide to us because you're like, oh, this is Aunt Polly's, what used to be like a quick service restaurant.
Yep.
Like,
Yep.
there's
I'd be so cool if that was open still, but I understand the whole place is going away. So, yeah, I it just from
there's some
watching.
spots in there that I'm like, oh, I understand. Like, not you're walking through caves and stuff that are very dark,
Not
and
easy
hard,
to
like,
navigate.
Absolutely
Dark,
not.
crooked floors, like they're not for the. If you have any mobility issues whatsoever, Tom Sawyer's Island don't care about you.
Or like if you're claustrophobic or
Oh,
worried
yeah.
about like not fitting. Like there were spots I'm like, I don't know if I'm fitting through here.
And I remember being a kid, and that sense of adventure was so real in there because it really felt like I was, had to slip through a tight cave. Like it was so real. I get why it's going away. Nobody cares about it anymore. But I haven't been on it in a million years. But going through it again as an adult, I was just like, I wish this could stay. Like, I think young kids could still find this awesome, even now. They're adventuring, The only problem with it for us was we got stuck waiting for a couple too many boats to get back, and the sun came out to play.
Yeah, it was pretty much a walk on. I think we walked up as a boat was coming up to undock and take on more passengers. And then we went and we were on the island for a good half an hour, walking around all to the back.
Yeah, we took our time.
Going to the fort, firing the fake guns.
It was awesome.
We had lots of pictures on that. And then when we came to get back, we caught a boat about to leave, was full. And then another boat came over. And we did not catch that one because there was enough
Right.
people trying to leave. And by the third boat, they had to wait for the Liberty Bell to go by So we were just standing there baking
No-
in the
no
dead
shade,
heat
yeah.
sun, and we're all like,
We knew like this is where the day can go south if you're not careful.
it kind of did. That
It
took
did.
the wind out of our sails a little
It
bit.
did. It took the jam out of our donut.
But
But
by that point, Big Thunder Mountain popped back up while we were on the island. So it's like, all right, well, let's try to hit Big Thunder. When it went down earlier, they gave us a free lightning lane, so we booked it again.
right.
But when we went on it, they didn't take that lightning lane. They took us another one for when we had further down, which we tried to. We just rebooked Big Thunder for later in the day. Besides the free lightning lane,
Yeah.
So we did a back-to-back wildest ride in the wilderness.
Yeah, we just did it twice in a row. I don't know how it worked. I forget exactly. You just explained it. Like, but there was something where, oh yeah, we had one scheduled and we used our free lightning lane that we got from a mishap. But they took the scheduled one,
And
not
still kept the free
and
one.
gave us the free ride any ride kind of thing. And so we just
So
did
we're
it
like,
again.
Screw it, go right on this twice.
And we know it's going. It's temporarily going under a long refurbishment. Is already under a long
I think it
refurbishment.
officially is off at this point. It's
Oof,
down. Yeah,
that's a bad hit for Magic Kingdom while they're redoing it. I'm sure it's going to be great.
yeah. I mean,
Um,
for those who don't know, it's partly because they're doing a bunch of construction behind it to add on to the expansions for Magic Kingdom, but also they are adding the awesome effects that Disneyland has, and finally putting a photo op in this ride,
which is crazy that
yeah,
it doesn't have
it's
one.
amazing it doesn't have one.
Yeah.
It's such a good
We
ride.
love Big Thunder.
You
Big Thunder
can't-
is the most underrated ride
You can't
in Magic
not
Kingdom.
smile on that ride.
Yep, it's fun. It's fun in a way that's just pure joy and fun.
Given by the fact that we got off it immediately, let's do it again.
Yep. Like
No hesitation from any of us. Yep, do it again.
going right back on the wildest ride in the wilderness. Love it. Oh, this is such a good day. Just listening back to our day, I'm like, this is amazing.
And then being done with Frontierland on the way out, ladies and gentlemen, everyone listening, watching, I finally had my first Dole Whip.
Fitz, what did you think of your first Dole Whip?
Why have I not been eating these is what I
I'm
thought.
so glad you feel that way. I hate to be that guy that's like, Dole Whip, Dole Whip, Dole Whip, because there are so many, it can be obnoxious. I get it. It is that good. Not that I use Twitter or X or anything, but my Twitter handle is Dole Chip because Dole Whip it's just the best snack you can get. I'm obsessed with Dole Whip. I love it so much. I love pineapple flavor, first of all, so I love Dole Whip. I'm so glad you got to experience your first Dole Whip with me. And that you got to experience it at all. It's delicious. It's
It was
refreshing.
awesome. It was so good.
I always get a float because they just take a Dole Whip and they just put it in a glass of pineapple juice. So it's just even better. I love it so much. So this is gonna be what?
That's what I got because I was like, you tell me what to get. I actually think you purchased it for me because I was like, I'm
I
buying
did.
your
That's
first
right.
Dole
Yep.
Whip.
Yep.
Here you go.
It was a big moment for us at the Fitz and Chip podcast. Momentous. Is this a thing you will?
too? I think you took pictures of my first Dole Whip.
I gotta go through my camera roll from
Yeah.
that trip. Yeah. Well, we have so many things to post. Is this a thing you will get every time you go to Magic Kingdom?
Yes.
Okay.
To the point where Tasha, she's like, you did a couple firsts on that I wish I would experience with you. But the fact that like I've been telling you let's get a Dole Whip forever and we didn't, and you got your chip, I was like,
Work husband.
podcast content. I was like, you're not podcast content, dear. Sorry.
Yeah, But
I was like,
now,
but now I've done it, and now we can have
but
it
now you
every
get-
time.
Oh, she's had a Dole Whip
Yeah,
before.
she's
okay.
had Dole Whip. I've never.
Oh, so I stole the first. Oh, I
you
understand.
also stole the first that Peter Pan. Winnie the Pooh.
Well, I got
It's
nothing to.
It's fine.
Sorry, Tasha.
To be fair,
I'll make it
Aubrey
up to you.
hasn't done some of those things, so we'll just make a first for.
There you go.
Yeah.
There's always more. You know what? This is gonna sound corny. There's always more first to do at Walt Disney World.
Yeah.
You'll never run out of enough first to do. So that's really cool.
Yeah. Now next time I go to Polynesian, I can get one too, because they haven't met the Polynesian.
They sure do. They sure do. Aloha Isle?
Yeah.
I
Little
think is the
snack
name of
shop
it.
right outside.
I think it's called Aloha Isle. I'm getting confused with the one is called at Magic Kingdom. I can't recall. But anyway, so you had your first Dole Whip, and it was the timing couldn't have been better. We were being destroyed by the sun,
Yeah.
and a nice, cold, refreshing Dole Whip just soothes all.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then we did our Lightning Lane Plus for Seven Dwarfs.
oh,
cart.
we,
because
we,
we
we
were-
on a whim decided to do
yeah,
it.
I'm a notorious like I don't. It's not my favorite ride,
Same.
and I'm not walking that back completely, but it was funner than I remembered the last time I went on it.
Same.
I still think the wait for this is insane that people wait this long for the ride, but
Same.
it was fun, especially like when we really realized that you could rock those.
I didn't.
the-
I didn't know this. I didn't
No,
know
we
you.
weren't- we
You
were
could now.
rock the boat.
So I realized it too far into it. I can't wait to ride it again, and I'm gonna spin this thing if I can. I want to go over the bar in the swing set on it.
Hi-ho.
We just said, we're having a great day. We had to pay for the Lightning Lane for it, and we all just said, "Is this worth paying for?" And we all said, "Yeah, let's
Yeah.
go. Let's go."
Well, I also think it was a nice.
My wife also likes this attraction more
Yeah,
than
I
the
think-
rest of us,
I think
and
it was
I
like
wanted to make
Katie
sure.
was being such a great sport for this day.
Yes,
We
'cause she
wanted to make
doesn't love
sure.
all the same stuff we love about Magic Kingdom, and she was just like, "Let's do it. Let's
Yeah,
do
I
all
was
the
like,
things."
let's for your sake, we'll all go on Seven Dwarfs.
And
We
boy, am I
haven't done
glad.
it in a hot minute, so it was fine.
And I'm glad we did.
Yeah.
because it was great. I really enjoyed it. I had so much fun on it. Oh, this day, I would go back and do this exact day all over again, exactly as it is.
Yeah, just add in Jungle Cruise.
Add in Jungle Cruise. Yep. But the day wasn't over quite yet.
No, we still have a few more things on this list.
So this is quite a packed day.
We did Winnie the Pooh.
First for me.
First for me as well.
I've never ridden Winnie the Pooh. I think we both have the rough same feeling about Winnie the Pooh after riding it for the first time.
Yeah, I wish it was still Mr. Toads.
Yeah, I wish it was still more.
As someone who's done Mr. Toads in Disneyland, I wish it was still Mr. Toads. It's fine. It's Winnie the Pooh.
It's
but
not
like-
it is not for us
No.
at this age bracket anymore. So I get it. It is interesting. They picked a very specific piece of Winnie the Pooh history to have be a huge part of this attraction, which I did find kind of interesting. The Heffalumps and Woozles are Heffalumps and Woozles.
Say that 3 times fast.
I couldn't even say it once. Are heavily featured. And I just didn't expect that. I thought that was a very interesting take. The bouncing part was kind of cool.
Yeah.
I didn't know I was going to do that. You bounce like Tigger. It was kind of cool.
Oh, Tigger.
A bit of a braggadocio, if you ask me.
T-I double G er.
It's kind of an instigator.
Yeah, that's what Tiggers do.
All right. You stuck the landing there. It's okay.
And then we went back to Tomorrowland to Enter the Grid.
That's right. We did at the very end of the day.
Yeah.
Yeah, we did Tron, which is not the first time for
It was the only first for Cristaldi.
yes, our friend
Everyone else,
Cristaldi.
we've all done it before. I do prefer to try and do this at night, but the fact that Magic Kingdom was closing at 6 for us,
Didn't
we
have the
did it as
option.
late as we could.
Yep.
I agree with people's where it's too short. It's still not the shortest ride in Magic Kingdom. I mean, in all of Disney. So
What is the shortest ride?
I still think it's Aerosmith. This ride is longer than Aerosmith. It doesn't
Okay.
feel like it, but it is.
I think it feels like it by a little. I do.
The problem is it is so great to kick off the ride, then afterwards it just kind of coasts off it. I
Yeah.
think that's the biggest issue.
I
Like
don't.
starting that high acceleration turn and into the grid.
It is. Yeah, I actually I do like this attraction very much. I don't mean this in a negative way, but it might sound like it. But it still feels weird that it's at Magic Kingdom, and I don't. It just doesn't
Yeah.
feel like a Magic Kingdom attraction, and that's actually that's fine. Magic Kingdom could use an attraction that doesn't feel like a Magic Kingdom attraction. I think. It's a little bit of a thrill ride, and it's
It is
really
weird because it's like it's in Tomorrowland because like where else would you put it?
Where else would you put it? Yeah.
Out of any park, the only other person I could think maybe would be Epcot, but I don't even know how you. It's definitely not a Hollywood Studios, unless you're going to build a Tron Land,
'Cause
which
that's all you do there.
Yeah. they don't do single rides. They just do here's a land now.
That's a whole nother conversation. That's a whole nother rant. It's okay, theme parks in general, not just Disney, to build a single attraction. You don't have to build a land for every single attraction. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. Let's hear a little bit. Yeah, so let's put it in Tomorrow. It's funny because Tomorrowland is like a fictional version of the future from like the 60s, like retro futuristic. So let's throw
Well, I mean,
80s. Like it kind
yeah,
of works.
80s works because
Like,
it was like that futuristic 80s.
it works. It does work.
I'm also like I'm biased to this ride because I had an older brother who got me into Tron at a young age. So
Yeah.
the 80s Tron is very special
Yeah,
to me. It is
fits.
a great movie.
You're definitely a bigger Tron fan than me, like hands down. I think both attraction and the franchise.
Yeah.
So I defer to your judgment entirely on this attraction. And you seem to like it, and you think it is a good, faithful tribute to the franchise.
As much as it can be, yes, because the whole thing is unless you were doing like they do in Cars Land and you're racing against another
Sure.
thing, like you go into the grid and you ride a light cycle.
The ride vehicle does give you this great sense of riding a
Yeah.
light cycle. I will say, like,
Not this time, but the last time I did it, I ended up getting front row in it too.
Oh, that's
so
cool.
that it is a absolute rush flying out of that.
yeah,
It is also, for those who haven't rode it, the first Disney attraction that requires lockers where you have to take stuff out of your pockets
yeah.
because they're like how fast it's going and the fact that it's shooting outside. We cannot have stuff flying out of pockets and hitting people,
Right. Yeah. Um
which is very big for Universal to have a lot of rides like that. Disney does not.
no, so this is just theme parks making each other better.
Yep.
Like, I don't want to get into it. I don't want to talk
And it's
about the
also
other theme
it's
park.
purely safety, like which is I will have a mild
Yeah.
inconvenience for safety any day.
I
of the
just
week.
mean an attraction that warrants that kind
Yeah.
of safety is a big step. To bring everybody something for everybody to Disney. Yeah, I think there's something for everybody in both the big parks we talk about. I really do, but now we're just seeing that from both parks even more. So, Tron's great, and I will say I'm a huge child still. Like, obviously, we're big Disney kids. Attraction like Tron still makes me play make believe, and I love that. Like, what I mean is, I'm on the light cycle and we're taking a sharp right turn. I'm leaning into that
Yeah.
turn. I'm throwing my body weight like I'm driving the light cycle because I'm playing make believe, and that's just this.
Oh, I made it a point to even the first time I rode this, I bought a data disc afterwards. 'cause I
Right,
needed
like,
it.
That's the kind of stuff that I'm like. If
I was like, I know the whole
attractions-
purpose of it is you're trying to sell me toys, and I don't care. I'm buying one. Like,
There is a This is a quick aside. Speaking of motorcycle style attractions, there is another motorcycle style attraction at the other park that everybody loves, myself included. And they've since changed them, just probably because they were wearing out. But the hand grips used to be these like foam hand grips. I gave myself a blister on my hand by pretending to rev the motorcycle.
so much.
I had an actual blister on my hand from revving a fictional motorcycle that I was riding. So when I say I play make-believe at the parks, 100%. And Tron does a really good job of letting you just play make-believe and have fun with it. It's great.
Yeah, I'd ride it again right now in a
Yeah.
heartbeat.
There's a sense of real excitement when you get locked in a position and you line up. Oh, it's great. Love Tron. It is good.
And then that was the last attraction we did that day. I did a little shopping because I had to bring something back for the girls.
Mm-hmm.
And we convinced you, not very hard to, get some Casey's corn dog nuggets.
Oh, that's right.
And then we sat there off of Main Street, ate some Casey's corn dog nuggets. And
There's something about them I just love. My wife was like, "What's the deal? These are extra good," and I was like, "No, they're just corn dog nuggets, but I can't get those anywhere."
Yeah.
And it's a weird nostalgic thing for me. So while
And
you guys
then
were shopping,
everyone
I
was
got
like,
them.
Yep,
They just hit.
they hit.
I love.
Great.
That's like a snack that I will always try and get when I'm at Magic Kingdom is the corn dog nuggets
You were
specifically.
like on the fence about doing it, and I was like, get the corn dog nuggets.
and I was like, "Yeah, it's one of my things. Let's do it." And I'm glad I did.
Perfect Sunday Magic Kingdom day. You gonna not
I
get corn dog nuggets?
Mobile ordered them on the way over there, and then walked in, grabbed them, walked out. It was perfect.
Can we talk about how great both parks, but the fact of mobile ordering
Ugh.
exists in these parks,
Especially
Fantastic.
when you get good at navigating. I mean, you can really shave time off your your
day of waiting in line for
Yes.
anything.
Yep. And so, given all that, Lightning Lane Genie Plus Magical Experience, whatever it's called,
I think it's fine.
I actually think it's fine.
It's fine, and it's useful for parks like Magic Kingdom. Would I get it for any other one?
Maybe not, huh?
Maybe Hollywood, just to make sure, like, if people really wanted to get on,
I think Hollywood's your next best bet. I do.
like, Slinky Dog and stuff like that.
Yeah.
The waits never really go down.
I mean, I'm an Epcot. Epcot's my one park I go to multiple times a year. I don't think I'd get it for
Oh,
Epcot.
well, no, we nailed that park last time we were there without a problem.
Yeah, you don't need it.
We nailed it. We hit everything we wanted to hit. Even the people who wanted to go back to Ratatouille hit that ride.
Yeah. I do
And
think that
you definitely don't need it for Animal.
no. Now I don't like that. This used to essentially be a free thing.
Yeah.
And now you have to pay for it. So here's my thing. I don't love that, but if you're going on a vacation, especially, and you're bringing your family or your significant other, or you're by yourself, and you're gonna come this far and spend this much, don't miss out on having the best park day you can have by taking some principled stand about spending an extra $20.
No,
Yeah,
we spent an
it
extra
stinks,
$20
but-
and then bought individual lightning lanes for both Tron and Seven Dwarfs the day of because we're like, we're just gonna do this.
And yeah,
Like,
I
we
think
made
that
the conscious
stinks.
choice to just not, because at this point Tron is no longer virtual queue. You can wait in line.
Now, yeah,
And we decided not to. We're like, we're just gonna pay. I'd rather pay the lightning lane and know at the end of the day I can just walk into that ride. Especially with what we were trying to accomplish this day. Like, we wanted to hit a bunch of stuff I did not want to waste
right.
an hour plus waiting in line for Tron.
And I understand that not everyone is in the same situation, right? I mean, we're fortunate that we can do that, and I understand some people. If you have a big family or things are tighter, I get it. But if things are that tight, then a Walt Disney World vacation's a stretch anyway. So take the little extra time.
I
if
mean,
you
I've
need
done
to.
it both ways. I've done it with the girls, with and without. And I can say, like, you can have a fine day, especially if you're there
Yep.
multiple days and you're not trying to hit everything. Like, we had one day of Magic Kingdom on our trip
Yep.
to try and hit everything we could, so we did it. If you're Magic Kingdom or you're at Disney 4+ days, that's a you call whether you feel like you need to hit everything
That's
in one
true.
day.
That's true. We had one day there, and for us, it made it possible that we had what we are lovingly calling our perfect Sunday,
Yeah.
and it was a large part of that. And the peace of mind of not having to rush around like crazy and know that we can just we. To be fair, we're kind of veterans, even though we don't
Yeah.
go there as much as a lot of people, especially locals. But we kind of crushed that day. We kind of knew we were on the app, and we were just like, I found a couple of
There was 3 out of the
things-
4 of us that had very good knowledge of this system and what we were doing, and everyone was checking at different times, which also was nice because not one person was in charge of doing
Yeah.
this. Like, there were you nailed like Tiana's both times for us.
Yeah.
You're like, yep, I got this one. Found it.
Yeah, I was just kind of refreshing and hoping for the best, and it popped up, and
One of us would take turns in waiting in line, like looking to see if anything else could change and do stuff. We were also very flexible. Like,
Right.
I can see next time I go with the kiddo, they dictate the day very much on how things
sure,
go.
of course.
Because we've had days where we're there for a couple hours, you go back to the resort.
Yep.
We were a bunch of Disney adults who decided we're going to try and hit as much as we physically can in one day, kind of from caution to the wind and money to the wind in that sense.
We did.
Which,
And we knew the park was closing at 6, so we knew our limitation.
yeah, we had a hard out. Like, we couldn't
Yeah.
stay there all night.
So let me ask you this, because I'm not even positive. How does that work? Is there a fireworks show for daytime guests?
I don't believe so.
That is a bummer. Now, we were cooked. We were ready to go back. We wouldn't have watched fireworks. But I think that stinks a little bit if you're paying for a Walt Disney World Magic Kingdom day.
Well, I
and
mean,
you
they do
can't
have
see
fireworks in like a lot of the shows throughout the day, so like you don't get the
I know, but
the big fireworks show, but you get fireworks shows.
that's optimistic.
Yeah.
I appreciate
Also,
that
I mean,
approach.
I have a kiddo who doesn't care about fireworks, so like I've seen it.
Sure,
once.
but there are some people there
Yeah,
that
there's
it's their
both.
first
That-
time.
we are the minority by far.
Right. There are some people, and they want to see that. But as long as you know what you're doing, you plan accordingly. You know. Oh,
Like
that
we
was a
could have
great day.
swapped that days and done it on a different day where it wasn't a not so scary. But we were also down there for Horror Nights, and we
Which
didn't want to
we-
sacrifice Horror Night stuff.
Did we go to after?
Yeah,
I,
we
was like, I
did.
think we did,
We
right?
went back, rested a bit, and we went to Horror Nights 'cause it was our last night.
Because it was our last night, and there's no
Well, it was our last night of Horror Nights. You stayed another day longer than we did. But it was
Right.
that was the last night of Horror Nights for that trip.
Yeah, and there's some nights where for our night trip, I just was tired and then didn't make it out there. But for the last night, I'm getting out there.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was a great Magic Kingdom day, Fitz.
It was such a good Magic.
It was our
Kingdom day.
perfect Sunday, and I would love to do it again. I won't be going back to Magic Kingdom until June of this year. That's my next scheduled Magic Kingdom day. And that is, I don't want to get into the whole thing, but that is specifically because it's my 40th birthday in June. So my wife is taking me to the Polynesian for my 40th, which is
You're living out the dream.
it is the biggest bucket list thing at Disney World is just to stay at the Polynesian. I've always felt that way. I've always loved it. So because we
Which also
have
is-
access to Magic Kingdom so easily from Polynesian, we have to go to Magic Kingdom.
Sans Swan and Dolphin. This is the first time in a very long time you're staying on actual Disney property, right?
So yeah, if you don't want to count Swan and Dolphin because it's a Marriott resort that is on Disney property, but not an actual Disney resort. This is my first time staying at a Disney resort ever.
even with your parents, you never did.
Nope.
Your first time is Polynesian. I mean, it's all downhill from here.
Well, I don't expect I'll be staying on Disney property super often. It's funny because we were talking about it last night with my wife, and she did say, because she was looking at, like, we're watching a video about the Polynesian because we're excited, even though it's so far away. And you could see the Grand Floridian and the Contemporary, and she looked at me and she said, we're going to stay at all three eventually, right? And I said, those are the big three for me. So, in Grand Floridian is one that I care a little less about. But I'd love to stay there for a night or two just to say we did it. I think you.
I mean, if you do that, you have to dress. You both have to dress like Southern Belle and Gentlemen.
Oh,
and,
sure.
like,
Maybe we stay there for Dapper Day one year. That's something we want to do.
Dapper Day is a bucket
When
list
is
thing.
well, we got to look into it. We got some research to do. We got some planning. But yeah, I don't want to get too long winded. I gotta say, Fitz, it's great to be back.
It is great to be back, and we are going to try getting on a schedule and sticking to a schedule.
Yeah. We're gonna try. We hopefully will seeing you folks on YouTube as well for the first time.
Yeah, also, we both did a lot of reflecting on a lot of stuff, and
We want to be doing this.
why not?
Yeah. So
Life's too short to not do things we want to do. Hence why you're going to Orlando like 5 times next year.
yeah, I don't want to say I don't have a defense, but I don't have to defend anything. But
You don't have to defend nothing.
no, but it's like, yeah,
Life's too
I am.
short.
I am
Enjoy
going.
your time.
One of
Right.
those trips. This is just kind of funny. I'm going to see one of my all-time favorite bands is playing at the House of Blues. They don't
Which
play
is also
very.
a bucket list thing of yours.
Every time I go to Disney, I look at who's playing at House of Blues because I want to maybe I can catch a show at Disney Springs. And one of my all-time favorite. I have I have one tattoo, and it is dedicated to this band. So it's a very big deal. They don't really play much anymore together, but they're playing at they're opening for another band that I also love. But I'm flying down on a Friday morning. I'm meeting my friend who's also a fan. We're gonna see the show on Friday. We're gonna go to Universal to experience Mardi Gras on Saturday, and I'm flying home Sunday. So I'll be there for 48 hours
Worth it.
on one of these trips. Very short, but hey, you gotta live. You gotta do the
Yeah.
things that make you happy, and this is gonna make me happy. So I've got a trip in January. I've got that in February, and then my wife and I will be tackling Flower and Garden in March for a long
Which
weekend.
there's a possibility I will also be there at the same time. We'll at least go to
Yes.
Epcot and have
Oh
Viking
yes,
coffee
we
or
will.
something.
Oh, Viking coffee and a margarita.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Why not?
And then I got my 40th in June. And then I have
Which
Horror
is funny because
Nights.
for Twist of Fate, I won't be there for your 40th, but I'll be there right before it potentially. 'cause
Yeah. So you're going a few times this year
Yeah,
yourself.
the
So
lady
this
found
is
out that she's got a conference in Orlando, and it won't be on Disney property, but staying in Orlando for a week for not having to pay for a hotel is pretty nice. So
yeah, my wife has conferences sometimes, and we're just like this for the Orlando one because
Yeah.
it's just like that's gonna be great. But good for you. But yeah, we're getting long-winded. We're getting off topic. We are just excited to be back and to be talking about the things we love together again.
And seeing what comes of this. What we're gonna try. Any comments, feedback, greatly appreciated.
Yeah, this is
we've
our
never
first
done
shot here at this.
Never done
So
video stuff, which in hindsight we probably should have been doing from the beginning. But we're old. Sorry.
right, and I do expect it's all just gonna get better from here,
Yeah.
right? Quality and things, sound,
just gonna have to pop
our
up.
setup. But I do want to thank Fitz, for getting this all set up. He's been the technician behind this. He's set up some of our loves back here. My Horror Nights glasses back here that he set up for me because I'm such a huge fan. And he's got
I
his
realized
Disney
framing
side
was
over
not
here.
great, but there's holocrons behind me.
Yeah, we kind of got our
reset that better.
Disney and Universal side. Although we both love both parks so much. There's a little bit of a lean for each of us, and we're just so happy to be back. And I don't know, we just want to thank you guys for hanging out with us.
And we'll see you all again real soon.
Take care, everybody.